Hi guys, my name is Abhinav. I'm the Territory Account Manager working with Cisco India with North Commercial team. So we are here to discuss about one of the largest DNA deals so far in this year, and this happens to be a DB Corp Limited. So before we start, I want to take a step back and talk about what exactly they are into and what they aspire to be in next few years. I'm also accompanied by Nishant Gupta, who is the systems engineer for this particular account. Tag two.
Hey, hi guys, my name is Nishant. I'm a system engineer for North Commercial team.
So we are here to speak about, as I said, Dainik Bhaskar. So before we get into the details, I want to take a step back and talk about what Dainik Bhaskar is into exactly and where they were and where they aspire to be in next few years. So I really personally admire this company because the kind of ambitious plan they have laid for themselves. We really want to be a part of that since long time now, and recently we could crack this opportunity to work with them and be a partner in their digital transformation journey. So if I look back 20 years back in 1997 till 2017, they started with a one state business. Now it has grown to 14 states. Nishant, I still remember the discussion when we had in Bhopal, and they called us for some smaller switches which they wanted to buy for the new branch offices, right? And I said, you please come along because I see a great potential, and we can turn this around. And you believed in me.
Right, and then when when we started the discussion, right, we found that they were in a mess kind of a situation. Their van is not up to the mark. Their LAN is kind of broken. They were using some disparate switches, and then so they basically would like to consult us, and then when we started talking about when we discussed started discussing about their what is required basically, that's where the things get started. So if you remember how they get started.
Yeah, so there is one common thought when we met from IT admin till the CIO. There was one common thought of user experience.
Right.
Right? They were more worried about my user is not getting experience, and I understand the only solution they had that time was pumping more bandwidth into a branch. So
Right.
just to give you some stats, they are having more than 100 plus branches in those 14 states, and a lot of bureau offices as well, which are remote offices in some remote village or some gram panchayat.
Right.
So this is how they cover their news, right? Nishant, I still remember that one slide which turned this around, where you have broken the whole challenges list into three categories as per
Right.
our understanding, which was WAN challenge, which is wide area network, LAN challenge, and security. And then you have put an automation layer on top of it,
Right.
which we named, and we named it as DNA, digital network architecture is put together. And I think that was one automation layer was one.
Right. Yeah, so we basically reach out to the conclusion when we got this entire story. When they open up more, when they said okay, they want to have kind of a strategy of a lean IT, or I would say a fast IT.
Fast IT.
Right. They want to have a story of the rapid provisioning of the branches
Right.
whenever it's required, right? And then how would they increase the performance with security into their environment,
Right.
right? That's how we segregated the entire the challenges into three parts: that you have to improve your WAN, you have to improve your LAN, you have to improve your network security.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, when you said the network automation layer, when we started discussing with them, specifically with the Ivan part, that's where I think the whole thing starts revolving.
There were few takeaways for us, as a salespeople or as a system engineer, and I think we can replicate this very fast. So there were few things which we were pretty strong at. For example, when we spoke about our APKM story, when we spoke about automation, right? How can you provision a zero-touch deployment of a new branch? So this is something which turned around for me. And security, we spoke about our AM, advanced malware protection. That really helped us. So what do you think are more points which could have done the magic for us?
Right. So if I remember, the first thing is, when we started the POC of Ivan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they understood the performance of, our PFR or performance based routing and the Akamai
Mm-hmm.
and the, the VAS optimization, they, it basically gave them a wow factor, to be very honest.
Yeah.
When they tested at the first time, they started playing the YouTube in their environment.
Mm.
I still remember the word of that guy, Anil Joshi, right? He said this is how the YouTube's supposed to work. I mean, I can't see the YouTube in buffering, it's almost all the time it's in a buffering state. And this is the first time it flows like, I'm actually seeing the YouTube.
Nishant, I think the word DNA did the magic for us
Hmm.
because we could cover everything, almost everything in that umbrella, right?
Right.
For example, when we spoke about intelligent WAN,
Mhm.
we spoke about secure parameter, we spoke about
Mhm.
automation, network automation,
Mhm.
and everything was beautifully covered by you indeed in the presentation when we covered that under the DNA umbrella.
Mhm. It's not only the IWAN, when you talk about the LAN piece as well, when they have seen the actual APKM working in their environment, how the pathways solve the problem of troubleshooting, from and reduce the time of troubleshooting from 2 hours to roughly around 20 minutes. That's how they get impressed as well, right? And other stuff, the easy QS, they never thought about of implementing QS. I mean, now they are confident to put the QS policies, at least to an extent, for the basic application.
And I think we could cut their OPEX also a bit
Right.
because that lean IT, fast IT, or in the other words we say Epic EM, they currently there are 140 plus people managing the whole IT, which is not
Right.
required.
And when you stitch the story end to end, starting from WAN, LAN, and security, and then merge with the network automation, that's where we have the last laugh, I would say.
So Nishant, I think we have done a good job in terms of educating the customer about what Cisco is doing differently in the market, and DNA was the excellent starting point. And though they come from a very different background of doing business, very traditional background I should say of doing business, but they also have understood now the value of technology, and they also know that if they are not onboarded onto a digital wave, they will be left behind.
Right.
What say?
I think the way we did in this particular opportunity, the way we showcase how DNA, removes the difference between, the application and the network, and
Right.
how it binds the application with the network is basically the crux for this particular thing.
Yeah.
Once they saw how the application performs with the digital architecture, they got the wow factor.
Yeah. So guys, this was a story, a short story of Dainik Bhaskar. Keep sharing. We would want to know from you guys what different you are doing so that we can also replicate the same very, very fast. Thank you guys.
Thank you.